I have quoted the higher price to. Marlo's even made another quote just recently, and I'm making a sale on that quote. So, you know, and then it makes me really insecure about doing a quote in the future. What do I do if, you know, Marlo's not right of what's being projected? Because I do have one quote and I am making a sale right now.
Well, I mean, now we have a lot of confidence that this oxidation trench is going to work, and the CDPHE is going to say, good, you're already compliant. But you could be in here, or another builder could be in here in March, April, in the summertime and ask for a quote. And Marlo could say it's $15,600. Oh, and there's also this affordable housing surcharge. But let me say, and she could be off by 15,000 because.
So I would suggest to you legally that you probably should do a disclaimer on any quote that Marlo gives us out in the public.
No,
There
she
should
can
be
tell you
something.
what the quote is right now. That's like.
Yes,
That's
no,
what
well, actually, she did, you know, because of our season of getting cut off, and it's our CHLUD, County Road and Bridge is who shuts us off and shuts us down. Because we could have gone all the way up to 1115 of doing connections. And there was a problem within your own company that you did not have enough help, that even if we'd gotten on the list, that there was no room. We had to wait for a cancellation in the one water one that we did. And you guys didn't have enough help. We would have booked, I would have taken action on a couple of, like I said, I would have jumped forward, paid their connection fees, got it hooked up. And I was one of those people that in 2007, however many years ago, I hooked up to water and sewer on Arrowhead Drive and paid 5 years until it was developable and paid water and sewer on
I
it.
have to ask the same question, November. A hurricane hits Florida, OSB quadruple.
I do have it in my contract. I would have to, I do have in my contract that if a public entity raises it, that I'm covered, and I am covered. I'm not doing it for me. I'm here representing my clients and the bank.
What did you, I mean, it's about this time when COVID really hit, and then.
Oh, I had to eat it on the material.
Did you on the-
Oh, hell yes. I'm sorry to curse, but, oh, yeah. And then we had to do a building escalation clause into it. And now that's all gone because it's all gone away. But yes, in my contract, any public body that dictates another figure, they have to do it. These people are obligated to reimburse me. And
You're
I'm
saying you're covered, your homeowners aren't.
No, they're not, and neither is the bank. And that made the bank very shaky too, that they can't depend on the
I would
quotes
think
that
the
I'm
bank
getting.
would want to make more interest on
Well,
a larger loan, but that's just.
I know, I deal with someone who's very nice that doesn't make them put 20% more on top of what I bid. That's usually the general thing right now, that they got so scared during the building escalation clause. There were a lot of builders that walked away, didn't finish their contract, and let the homeowner just pay. So.
Yeah, I have to say, in this fact pattern, I'm gonna be a no. I'm sorry about it, but I really see you as just like everyone else this year, who's building this year, and it's gonna be unfairly hammered with this.
So, but I'd have to ask, with her 25 people, are those signed contracts, or are they speculative builders? And do they have bankers? That they have a signed contract with the bank of a construction loan? That is my issue, and that's what I'm standing on.
Well, I think you're gonna, if not able, if your clients, if they can't rework it, this, you know, these houses, for the most part, when you get in land costs and development, are still 550, 650. I mean, the packages themselves are 400-ish, some of them, right? So. I mean,
Yeah,
we're talking
4 or
about-
5, we're right in the
so
4
the
to 7 after offsite.
Well, 2 of them were water, which
Yeah,
water goes up and down, 3 of them was sewer, and the sewer difference, while substantial for that level of house, you're talking about a 2 or 3% contingency. So.
and except for that one house that I'm telling you, the sewer was
So
not
what-
put in properly across the road.
Well, I just said, listen, I'm.
Okay, and I can accept your no.
I'm a no, and I'm sorry, but like I'm sorry about imposing
And
all
so,
of these fees.
And again, if we had more notice that and you said it was in the paper, and I have to debate with you just one more minute, and I know you guys are tired, I'm tired too. But you said I followed the articles in the paper, but there was nowhere a mention of the magnitude of this increase. I thought, oh, they're just going up, we'll deal with it. And actually, when I knew I couldn't get my connections last year, I thought, well, we'll just do it next year, no big problem. And then I started following, I do read the paper and I do follow things and I am involved in our community, but there was no, the freight trains coming down the track thing, where I wouldn't be embarrassed telling my homeowners saying, oh my God.
Well, we had talked about this sewer deal.
Yeah, but
It's gonna be our worst thing coming down the road, and it was. It wasn't the water.
the can got kicked and you guys are the ones that, I know. I 30 years I watched boards work and I watched what's happened and it's not your, I've been defending you guys since the last meeting of that there is no alternative. Your backs are against the wall. This is not a maybe, it's not waiting like in the last meeting, getting grants. Your backs are absolutely up against the wall, or you'll end up like Phoenix and you will not be issuing any more sewer permit connections into storage. And it's happened, it's real. People should.
What's worse
see
than
that.
that here though, is this is, we would be facing a state takeover of the system
That's
because
what you.
our present processes
I know.
have been deemed by.
And that's what I told people.
By 85, so it's not like they could even handle it, let's say, a moratorium on new taps,
No.
which would be bad enough. They're just,
That still doesn't solve the problem.
no,
No, I
they do,
understand.
they honestly, and I'm not gonna speak of Reg 85, it might be doing wonderful things in application other places. Here, nobody will give us a rationale for why we were selected almost alone. But what they will tell us is, well, the appeal process ended in 2013. That's it, and they won't even take a word beyond that, so.
And you've been involved long enough that the foresight was even not, of what was gonna happen or.
Well, we thought that, like,
Yeah,
common sense and alternate compliance, if we said, listen, we could spend $3 million, instead of spending, at that time, it was $22 million, we could spend $3 million and actually give the people who have grandfathered in open sewage pipes dumping in just old town, we give them modern, private septic systems.
Mhm.
I mean, we offered all sorts of stuff that would actually benefit the environment 1,000-fold more than this. And all we got was nothing, or the appeal process ended in 2013. That's all we could get.
So, so can I revise my appeal?
For
It's
these,
just so-
I have to say I'm a no,
Okay.
I'm a no.
Or,
Oh,
for Mr. Hanson also, let's not forget you. I hope you had a good time in Hawaii. I bet you wish you were there now. Again, the lending factor and the ones that are wastewater connected and that are definitely moving here as retirement and are on a fixed income.
I'm a no, I can't go along because if we just can't do it, in my opinion, because if we did it for you, somebody else is gonna show up and then they'll, we can't set a precedent for that. I
But
feel
if they had
sorry
a
for-
signed contract and were with the bank, you
But
could
if-
do it?
No, but if you had took down a payment, put a payment on this, it might be different.
They wouldn't accept any payments last year. No, they did not take, they will not, and that's been your practices for years.
Well, towards the end.
After we're
Sure,
shut, no,
yeah.
after you're shut down, they tell you to wait because we always know that you're gonna make a decision in January to raise your price.
Yeah, and
So no, we don't. I would have brought the money, yeah, definitely. But no, you won't accept money after that. After shut off, road and bridge shut off time.
Well, you would have still had the option to pay it before the shut off.
No, you don't.
If
Once
you
you're-
don't get connected,
No.
you
Yeah.
get refunded.
No, you can't.
Because we can't carry the money over.
So I've made my arguments. I know you guys are all tired and your vote will be what your vote is and
Well,
all
you're
I
not
can do.
too, you're a great advocate for your clients, so they're not,
You are.
it's our job to.
Well, yeah, when she built our house, we wasn't gonna build it, and it was in that crunch, and they give us some big discounts, and we couldn't afford not to do it, so.
Yeah, no, I mean,
And had I known that some crunches were coming up, there are years that we played, let's make a deal.
Yeah, you
So,
did, thank you.
I don't wanna take your time or make you guys even more tired than what you are. So, any motion?
We have a motion to accept what she's wanting to do.
And only 3 of them out of the 5 that I presented, not the water ones, just the 3 retirees that have got
Do
construction
we have a
loans.
motion? Do we have a motion? Do we have a motion? No motion? So, I need-
Thank you.
okay,
I will be able to tell them I tried.
you did it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
thank you for staying to the end of the meeting. We could have, I know it's, you wanted to have input on other agenda items, but we could have moved it up. The 10th, you're here for the. And 13th. Yeah.
Okay, consideration request for 2023 connection fees for San Juan homes.
I'll save everybody time. There's no point in that.
All right, thank you. Okay, 13, consideration of memorandum
Yeah.
of exploration of the future
Well, I
operation.
have compassion for them.
Maintenance of wastewater system in the Pagosa Spring area. All right. You're on.
So I think you guys have copies of the MOU.
Yeah.
Again, this is just like we're investigating future wastewater treatment plant, that may benefit one from any public. So it's, we're just, again, I think it's really not needed. It's just the steps that we're doing to try to ensure we make a wise decision moving forward.
So this is your prenup agreement.
Right.
I would move to accept the MOU.
All right, is there any?
I'll second for discussion.
Okay, it's been made, motion made and seconded. Now we're open for discussion.
Oh, you got anything?
No,
Anybody else have any?
Well, I'd be interested in having it like a board member on each working group. You know, nobody was involved in it, but the last IGA, last couple of IGAs have really suffered from a lack of transparency. And, I know this is the very beginnings, but I think we should have at least one board member. I don't know anybody better qualified than Jean. And there are a number of very qualified people at the town, but that could be the town's decision whether they want to stay. But I would, and if Jean is willing, I would like to see a board member from the start in the working group.
I'll modify my motion.
Okay.
If I can get a second,
Sure.
to ask the town to put a board member from each organization on the working group.
Okay, second.
I second.
Okay, any more discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 I,
Motion carries unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Good night.
We're leaving.
Yeah. And I think we're in general very open to all of the town's concerns as regards this.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I think it's, having worked in communities where we've had to amalgamate operations, just from a cost efficiency, from a environmental perspective, this is to me is a no-brainer. So I'm excited to be working forward with you all together and seeing what we come up with. So thank you. So appreciate it.
Thanks for staying.
It's my pleasure. Y'all take care.
Okay, managers talking points. Who's going first?
I can start out with, on the same issue, the RFQ for the feasibility study of the pipe round is out.
Okay.
It closes. We have a mandatory pre-bid meeting on April 10th and it closes on May 8th.
Okay. This is, which one again?
For the feasibility study to turn the pipe around.
Oh.
There's no real question that it's doable, but it's
what's it gonna take?
what it's gonna take, right?
You just don't pull the lever, huh?
No,
No lever.
there's no budget for the lever.
Water loss is up significantly. I didn't bring the paper, but it's up to about 400 and some GPM. There must be a leak someplace, we can't find a trend. Right now, it's hard to find a leak. It's been that way for 2 months now. I kind of wanted to see if it went away, and it didn't.
We did have an incident of potential water theft though, but I don't.
Yeah, but
think
not
it would be
that much.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
they would be, but they were using like 20 to 40,000 gallons per month at one point. And then they stopped, and then we discovered that they were actually bypassing the meter.
Was this for a marijuana growing plant?
No, not this time.
For housing development.
Wow, so what are we gonna file it for? How much are we gonna file?
Well, the rules and regs provide for an opportunity to cure. So they've been noticed of that. They have a backflow prevention violation that also has an opportunity to cure, but they have been, we have imposed a $500, meter tampering fee, because what did they do? They drilled the.
Yeah, they went through a check valve and drilled a water cap into it. Opposed to it. It's for a housing. Construction, a little development that's over by Walmart. I think it's worthwhile.
So $500 for right now. So if they don't cure those 2 other violations by, I believe it's next Tuesday, they have 10 days, then we will impose other fees. But we haven't really discussed pressing charges.
Up until you even press criminal charges.
Okay, we
And
can.
can you go back and charge them for the water that they've used?
Well, you can't really tell how much water they've used because they didn't what meter.
Okay,
Don't be too generous.
Yeah. Well, you could make it.
The interesting thing was they had 20 EU, so they could use up to 20,000 gallons a day they got charged for anyway.
Yeah.
So they stole all this water and they probably really didn't steal any water. It was kind of, they didn't understand what they were doing. So not only were they not the most honest people in the world, they weren't the most brightest either. I mean, they may have stole a couple thousand gallons.
Yeah, because they are paying for 20 years.
They're paying for 20 or 40,000 gallons a month anyway. Because they have that many years.
Things of that go legally through the meter.
Right.
I don't think you get credit for stuff you steal.
But they're charged for it anyway. That's the funny thing, that they didn't really save themselves any money by going about this.
wow.
Not that that's
I know.
given the pass, it's still irritating, it's frustrating that they did that, but they didn't think there's, if you're gonna steal something, yeah, steal something with value, in my opinion.
Based on past experience on any, open spots, well, no, the lakes are all open now, so that's immaterial, but
Any
that's how we found the leak.
Yeah.
35 years ago, down in an airplane and Lake Pagosa had a great big open spot in it where there shouldn't have been one, and that was the leak.
Oh, because of the
Wow.
ice, you talking about where ice was down?
The county actually plowed off a blow off and it underground, it just let loose and went under the snow and into the lake and.
We did have one.
We think we got Lake Pagosa that had been leaking there for who knows how long.
It was one of those pre-installs, Gene, and the cap had come off. It had a gigantic field of willows and we created a whole new wetlands.
But anyway, we do believe that there's a leak someplace and we're looking, but we didn't see anything in tank trends, so it's kind of hard to find it. And this is a bad time of year to find.
Okay,
We'll give you until May or June.
Yeah, thank you. June should work. And it's right, maybe it may be April, we might go start. See some easy to find. What am I missing?
Cattails, some suspicious cattails in June after this winter, we'll probably
I don't
find.
have a lot, because I had managed talking points last week, so there's
Yeah.
not a whole lot's gone on. Last week I talked about the gate closure, which is now closed. We talked about water loss, the snowball water plant, it's going vertical, I don't know if you've been out there, it looks a lot different, we're getting, walls are going up.
I'm trying to stay off that road.
Because you don't want to pave it?
It's Snowball Road, that's right. Yeah, so- I think Glenn may have something to say regarding his meeting. You to talk about?
Well, I would just say that, went to the meeting in San Juan with Steve Wolf, and it was really very worthwhile. And I did ask him if we could also arrange a meeting. I think that would be very worthwhile if we could block out some time. And he has the time to come over, because I think one of the projects particularly, I mean, he did emphasize how the more efficient and effective use of existing infrastructure is a big emphasis. And conservation is a big emphasis. One, I thought if he comes over, we can give him a tour of what we're going to do with your favorite project between Stevens and Hatcher, and see what grant money is available for that. And then second, on the conservation front, I'm wondering if we need, we have this alternate day watering, which kind of has this quasi sort of semi status, but it never got followed up on. And maybe we put that for later in the year. But do we want to start making some solid conservation choices, like no daytime irrigation? Like just don't do stupid stuff. I mean, why should anybody be using their sprinklers between 10 o'clock in the morning and 5 in the evening, where you can literally see that 2/3 of the water doesn't land on the grass? So are we interested in?
Common sense stuff, we do.
I like that other resolution that just says don't do stupid stuff.
So those are just my two.
Yeah, my guess is we're gonna go into at least voluntary, if not level 1, drought stages, just simply due to the day that we're gonna run out of snow. Remember how the new drought management plan, it's based on when we run out of snow on the mountain or when we get a call on 4 Mile. And I think both of those things are gonna happen fairly early this year, because there's just not a lot of snowpack.
Yeah, and to be honest, we might not mind this year, because we really don't want 200 inches of snow and then rain.
No,
We don't want
the silver lining of this is we're not gonna have an
I, yeah.
Our I, speaking of that, our I is up a little bit now, it's just been warm. So we're seeing 1 million gallons a day, 1.2 million gallons a day, we're seeing 1.6. So I is up a little bit, but that's extremely manageable.
Right, because where are our reservoirs right now?
They're full.
Right, so our reservoirs are full, so, yeah, I mean, the last thing we want is an I violation this year, so it would be.
Yeah.
If we have 18 inches of snow water, that's probably fine. We don't need 26 inches of snow water this year.
We would like to have more snow up top.
Right, yeah. But. All
Right.
Any I updates with, more particularly Aspen Village?
We are putting together a plan and working with them on that plan, based on fixing separations and sealing manholes.
Aspen Village meaning.
No, it's, so. The majority of our I problems we had last year, was just upstream of lift station 3. That's where we had sewage spills, and they couldn't keep up. And so we pretty much said we're not gonna allow big development to tie in anywhere upstream from that, because the pipe already can't handle it.
Oh, it should be able to handle
It should,
it. Yeah.
it should be able to handle it, but it can't. So, if you run the model, there's no problem at all, but anecdotally, we know it doesn't, because it was spilling sewage out on the ground, ending the people's houses. So the developers, we came up with a plan that says if a development's gonna go in, every EU, they have to fix so much I. It's kind of a new requirement on them, but that's the only way I can really justify. If we have sewage, if sewage goes into somebody's house, it's not necessarily our fault unless we were negligent. But I think if we know sewage is going into that house and I allow 50 homes to tie in upstream, that's probably gonna impact it.
When you say Aspen Village, you're talking the Walmart area.
Well, that's only because this happened over at Lakeside, but Walmart ties to that area. There's a lot of development going on over there. So they will contribute to that flow, although it's a long ways away.
So I talked with James about that, but actually he wanted to talk with me about it, because I was talking with him about housing. And he thought that the problem was the lift station.
The lift station's overloaded too, but
It
there's,
was,
but
there was a problem with the lift station, he thought, oh,
No.
you guys should fix that lift
the
station.
problem is there's too much I.
Yeah,
The lift station can't keep up because of the I.
right.
Yeah.
And.
Yeah, we can put bigger lumps in the lift station, but that doesn't solve the I
I
problem.
said to James, you guys have a lot of money in your savings account. Do you want to kick in on this? So if you hear from James, it was me suggesting that.
Yeah, I haven't heard from you.
The town has money to kick in.
Okay.
Well, again, and what's critical is that this is the site of the LIHTC project.
He's very concerned that that's gonna get canceled.
As it should, as he should be.
Yeah, because if that doesn't happen and, Hickory Ridge decides to go for a 15-year workout, we've lost 90. That's really workforce housing with Wisconsin. I don't wanna offend anyone, but, 60% AMI is a lot of the workforce. So,
But if the developments go forward and they'll go forward with the plan that we're projecting, it's gonna help our I substantially, I think.
did you catch up with Mike Church about any idea?
Yeah, we would look, we didn't see any problems that he.
Okay, yeah.
Not that was.
So the town is right next to the LIHTC project, and they've got 20 taps, but they were talking at one point about 90 units on those 2 acres. And so they should chip in.
Anybody who wants to tie in will chip in.
Okay.
That's how we're setting it up. You can fix so many issues, and we know issues because we're videoing and we're inspecting, and we know we have issues, and we know where a lot of those issues are. And so like I said, if all the developments that want to tie in do what we have planned, it should make a big jump in helping our I&I.
And do you believe a lot of the I&I is in, village, what's it called?
No,
Outside.
yeah, outside. Yeah, that stuff probably okay. That's a lot newer. It was.
Well, it's definitely newer, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
construction practices can still be.
But we have really, we got 186 sewer separations. I don't know how many root intrusions.
Caps out of clean outs.
The quality of installation in this district could be a college course.
Easily.
And don't do it this way.
Easily.
Okay.
And the MOU with the town, let's state specifically, we're gonna put what, $2 million this year?
okay, but this is in the town. That's the village.
No,
Aspen Village is in the town.
Yeah.
That's
That's
our sewer system.
Right, our sewer system. I know it's our sewer system, but, the town is very talented with Villa, and I'm just wondering if it's, in support of saving a LIHTC project, if we can't get some grant funding to remediate the issue.
Well, hopefully the LIHTC, because LIHTC people are very interested in what's going on. You think that approach is
Does
down
Aspen Village pay the town? Or do they pay us directly?
for sewer?
For the
They
sewer?
pay us directly.
They pay us, okay. Because it's not going to the pumping station.
No,
Yeah.
no, it winds its way around and goes through lift station 3.
That's what's confusing to a lot of people. It's in the town
Yeah.
boundaries, but
Right.
pause for water and sewer.
But yeah, not in the PSSGID.
Not
Okay.
It's not in the PSSGID.
Correct, yeah.
But it's still a town municipal interest to promote affordable housing.
Yeah,
So-
they should definitely, which is actually a pretty good segue. I had a meeting with Patrick Rondanelli at Dula this week. I don't know, it's all running together right now. But, and it went very well. The Vista, was to discuss the plan for the next year of grants and how that's gonna schedule out over the different cycles. So, the way that the timing works, I'm gonna ask for a 50% match for, the RPR, which is the engineer, it's basically adjusted who would be the RPR on Vista Upgrades project. And I will write that grant in the next 2 weeks and submit that by April 1st, with hopefully getting an award around, June-ish. And then should be executed by September, so we should be able to start, on that project and be reimbursed for it. Then we're also gonna go out for another grant for the CMAR to pay for, half of the CMAR on that project as well, and gonna go back to DOLA for that. And that's,
Pre-construction CMAR.
mhm, and that's for, that will be in August. With that award being, and hopefully executed by the end of the year, but we'll see. But that's all, the timing should work out. And then for the first cycle, because they do anticipate another $30 million cycle at the beginning of 2025, that we will go out for, if I can get $1 million and they can earmark it as federal, then we can accept it. We cannot accept anything more than 10% of the sewer enterprise fund's annual revenue. So that limits us to like 3 to 4, yeah, yes, sorry, I'm so tired. 300,000 to 400,000 in grants that we can receive. So, yeah, that's the grant plan. But so on that note, if the town wants to go, so I will be tapped out on grants for 2024. But if they want to go out and get some grant funding for the LIHTC project,
Right,
they would probably be pretty successful.
right, and then we could also offer a match of some basic maintenance we want to do there anyway, and then maybe we can get
A lot done.
Yeah. And then my last thing is,
So who's gonna follow through on that idea?
do you want me to just shoot James an email?
You want to?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
I'll let him know that we're tapped out on grants for 2024 and probably 2025, but that he should look into that because Patrick was very encouraging. And the August cycle, anyway, I'll let James know. The August cycle should be less competitive than this go round.
Okay.
I also need to ask you guys to please, change your April meeting to April 18th. It's currently scheduled for the 11th. We need it to be at least the 18th or later for, to accomplish.
What day of the week is that?
It's a Thursday.
Okay.
It's a third Thursday.
I'll be in Phoenix.
Okay.
Can you zoom? Can you zoom in?
Possibly. I'll have to ask my
Paul?
granddaughter.
Yeah.
Paul, where will you be on April
I'll be
18th?
I'll be back by then.
Okay. So is
That'd be all right.
is that okay? Okay, thank you. I'll get everything noticed and we'll move forward on that.
Okay, I've got a situation we gotta make a decision on. We, probably a year ago, authorized Justin to start building or getting ready to make plans, put some pads across the highway,
Dry Gulch.
Dry Gulch, for our workforce. Well, we're spending so much money, we may have to tell them the whole lot. For what we did
well,
tonight.
I also think this is a whole different subject, is that we're gonna have to come to some big picture agreement with San Juan
Right, that's the other thing.
about, you know, what areas where they can have principal, we can devote their energies and their time on property we're paying 100% cost of,
Right,
and whether there is non-reservoir land that we can use for our purposes, and
Right.
also to pay off the mortgage. Now, they may decide that they have a very restrictive view of what can be done with a non-reservoir land,
right.
which will then present the school with a whole different question. So we probably shouldn't go forward with anything like that.
Right.
Yeah, nothing's going on right now.
Right.
It's a
So,
mess out there. So that's not a problem. It is something that should be discussed, and probably should be discussed with the subcommittee with San Juan.
Yeah. Right,
Should
yeah,
probably go there.
I mean, basically do nothing out there until we can come to some
Right.
macro level understanding that. And that's my position, is we're paying 100% of the cost. We're giving you the running room to look for partners for a very large reservoir, but doesn't use these cases. And we can use these for our own needs and also pay off the mortgage.
Right.
But if that's not acceptable, and they can say that's not acceptable because they're on deed,
Right.
then we just have to look at the whole project.
Themselves.
If that's what the board, I'm not the sale advocate, but if we can't come to a macro, that kind of working understanding, then that's where the board's gonna go, and I won't complain. So that's all. So, but don't, the short answer is don't do anything out there, and plus,
You can't right now.
we need that money in the surcharge for all of these, all these projects, and we may we might wind up, since we have this discretion and we've been told that Pawsd, I mean, there is a lottery system, but, we do have a lot of employees that will fit in that 80–90% AMI band, and we may get some employee housing right over here too, we can get, we're by far the biggest contributor. I know
Well, we talked about that during the break, and I hope that's something that we can negotiate.
I know maybe I was being obnoxious, I was helping to be cooperative, but, it's $7 million of infrastructure made the whole thing possible. $25,000 to $26,000 per home, and other people are presenting 3,000. Nothing. So,
Well, that's why I liked it. I think it was your idea to add request, whatever, some Pawsd employees to be on
Well, I think that we should get some preference, treatment with our employees. That's what I would hope we can negotiate.
Probably be able to do that through like an agreement with, a separate agreement with them.
I mean, it would have to conform to some grants and some, but,
Well, our employees would still have to meet the AMI requirement.
Right.
And so I don't think but I just think it'd be better, it just seems reasonable that we could get some type of preferential treatment. Because she said there's gonna be 161 people going after these 10 homes.
right.
So, you're 1 in 60, 1 in 10, but 10 and 161, you have 16% what chance, but I can't do math right now. But anyway, I just think that we should get, with the amount of money that Pawsd has and is, just reasonable that we get some type of. Okay.
Well, if you want to run the numbers on how much Pawsd actually contributes in terms of lots.
Right.
It's staggering, and, just making, I'm just sitting on the board, but the actual people that work here are essential employees, and they didn't get to work from home during COVID. They had to come in the water plants and the wastewater plants. You can't work from home and repair a major water leak at 2 o'clock in the morning when it's 50 degrees below zero. So I'm a little hypocritical here, and that I'm representing two people. Well, I'm just saying, I don't want it to be just a government program. I think all of our employees, but as a board member, I do have to look out for our employees.
Yeah.
And, any other district that wants to kick in $7 million and instruct $26,000 for you is welcome to say, hey, we should be ahead of the line.
Yeah, I agree.
When did you say the RFP is going out on pipeline?
It went out,
Or when's it due back in?
May, when it closes.
And when do you anticipate we'd have a final report from them on?
End of the year. End of the year.
Thanks for volunteering. That's gonna be
Yeah.
a lot of, given your penchant to get into the details. There's a lot of details there.
Yeah, one of the first things I want to do with this group is put meetings on it every other month, I don't think we need that.
No. Yeah, we can cancel that April 2nd one. Are you around in May? Ish?
Except for a birthday, not mine, yes,
Okay,
and grandkids.
well, we'll touch base.
The. We have to get a boatload of information from the town. Well, no, when this became a joint project, when the pipeline became a joint project, do we have everything that Bartlett and West did on paper already?
And electronically too.
Including the double charging, right?
So the yellow is ready.
Because there was even a fair amount of stuff done after that that wasn't in anything Bartlett and West did. I just want to make sure.
I don't have any of that. But we have the layout of the pipe. The only thing we really care about is the layout of the pipe. The horizontal and vertical layout. That's what they're gonna need to look at.
And what shouldn't they be considering odor control and all that too?
Well, it shouldn't be any odor. If it's gravity. It generally gets odor because it sits there for a while. It shouldn't sit there.
Slide down.
Yes. Slide down.
And then if we go forward, we're gonna have to study engineering wise how to effective use of this stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's not.
Well, per Delson, I wasn't aware of this, but even if we do this, Vista has to continue to run a small amount, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Which is ludicrous, but. No,
For
which is why I,
augmentation plan.
Right.
well, which is why I kind of like this idea.
Yeah.
Of course, it's not even an idea yet, it's just a thought.
I think it's good.
Well, I think we need to have all our, further.
Is, you know, I think I'm probably, I'd be, you know, too supportive without a real technical background. And I think you're right, and your mind isn't made up by any of those systems, yeah.
Okay, anything else?
We don't need to adjourn.
Do I?
Oh, you're asking me.
Amen.
Favor? Aye. We're adjourned. Thank you, Paul.
Seconded.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, everybody.